Today on Footy Feed Year in Review, the good news.
From an epic grand final to a miracle goal, we'll wrap up 12 amazing months.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Footy Feed Year in Review. And Matt, it's finally time to talk highlights.
Yeah, let's finish this series on a high. We've got Mitch, Cleary, Nat Edwards, Nick Bowen and Matt Thompson with you, and you've got to start with the grand final, don't you, Mitch?
Can't look past it. West Coast Eagles against all odds. No Nat Nui, Gaff, Brad Shepherd, and they did it. Dom Shee with one of the goals of the ages from the pocket in the grand final. And it all started with Jeremy McGovern, who was under an injury cloud going in, who started the last chain. Collingwood up for all day.
5 goals up after the first quarter. I mean, they just looked as though they were going to carry on that momentum they had against Richmond.
You know, I was watching it back the other day, the last quarter, and it's just heart in your mouth stuff. I think that it will go down as one of those highlights packages that people are watching in 25, 50 years from now.
You can watch it whenever over summer, and I caught myself watching a little bit of it too, Matt. The Eagles peppered the goals late in that last quarter, didn't they? And had all the running, but Collingwood, even Mason Cox stood up late when it counted and just went right down to the wire. And the last 2 minutes, you can watch it on loop forever.
What about Mason with the USA
How good
thing?
is that? The MCG and there's a USA chant going around. That's just quite incredible.
That was one of the most memorable moments of the year, I think. It was surreal. I think you wouldn't have probably had that since the 56 Olympics at the MCG. But it was fantastic, and he played so well. He was like... His performance that night was like any bit as good as whatever Wayne Carey's done. Wayne Carey's just done it much more often, but he is unstoppable at 212 centimetres when he gets going.
This is a guy that we thought was going to get dropped at the start of the year. Nathan Buckley was sort of on the outer whether he's going to pick him in his best side, and he comes through and is one of the focal points for the Pies.
Bucks himself under a lot of trouble at the start of the year. The Pies really, although they did fall short, one of the great news stories of the year as well.
What about Jack Higgins' goal? How good was that?
Was it a goal?
Yeah. Thank God they let it stand. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I don't know how he got the ball around the post. You could call it an elongated ball drop. Let's do that. But I remember Darcy Moore there, who was right there, and he couldn't believe what had happened. But it was just fantastic, unbelievable skill to do that.
What about Jack Higgins? Full stop. What he brought to the AFL in 2018, just his fresh vibrance
and his snags.
It's been awesome, and can't wait to
his
see
Brownlow night interview. That was the best.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, now we talked about West Coast and Collingwood, but what about Demons fans and Melbourne making the finals finally after so long?
Yeah, they were. I reckon they were every bit as loud as Richmond the year before. Now, you expect it from Richmond fans. Now, they've been long suffering. We know how much you've suffered over the years, Tomo. But Demons, genteel Demons supporters are up at the snow, got the velvet jacket on, that sort of thing. Who would have known they had a pulse, Mitch? Yeah. It was absolutely fantastic. They had brought a lot of passion to it, and good on them. There's been too long a drought for them.
And how exciting were they to watch? Like Angus Brayshaw coming on, Christian Petrarca, Max Gawn had one of the great seasons as an individual ruckman. They were so exciting, and can't wait to see what Simon Goodwin gets to do with them in 2019.
Don't want to put a damper on it. It went terribly wrong in the prelim, though.
It did.
You know what, though? I agree with Mitch. I reckon that they've got so much upside next year. Putting Stephen May in there as well, a really big chance for the flag.
Now, you liked the story that happened after the showdown with Josh Jenkins.
Well, firstly, the first showdown, Stephen Motlop kicks Port Adelaide from against backs to the wall sort of thing, and then Josh Jenkins has a snap in the dying stages of the second showdown and has this to say when we thought it might have hit the post.
It looked close, you weren't confident?
My grandma raised me not to tell fibs. I think it hit the post, but I'm pretty happy that they didn't think so.
That was a great moment, wasn't it?
Probably the highlight for the Crows in what was a tough season with the camp and the hamstring crisis. It was probably their best moment.
Jaden Stevenson won the Rising Star, well deserved.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was one of the best young players coming through. He had a terrific season, didn't he?
Yeah, as a first-year player, I always love to see the first-year player get it, because I think that's that to me should be the award. He comes into a really strong team, doesn't miss a beat. A regular goal kicker, and he's run that speed. He's electrifying. He's only going to get better, you'd think.
A couple of others were almost out of time. There was a fair bit of spice in the Q clash, wasn't there? And Gold Coast beating the Swans, that was the upset of the year.
Absolutely. Sydney couldn't get it done at the SCG at all this season, and Gold Coast to go up there and break their losing streak at the SCG, who wouldn't believe it?
But they looked, and I thought at that stage Sydney were cooked. And they showed again the ticker that we expect out of the Swans, and came back and made the final. So,
well, we are out of time. Nick, Mitch, Nat, Great working with you all on Footy Feed this year. So many stories. We just burn through them, it feels like, every single day. There's something new that's happening in the footy world. Here on AFL.com.au, we are going to have you covered in 2019 like never before. A whole new look coming to Footy Feed in 2019. We're looking forward to that. Hope you have a great festive season, and we will see you again real soon.